Hello everyone and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's a brief match preview. Servette 0, West Ham United 2. Winning start for the Hammers during the pre-season. Now may we start with a little disclaimer. It was only a friendly. Simple as that. So anything I say following this, take it with a pinch of salt because it was only a friendly. But we're going to discuss the brief highlights and a couple of individual player performances as well. So those that haven't seen a match or those that want a platform to leave their thoughts on the match, they can do in the comments below. So it was a bit of a slow start. It wasn't it? Until West Ham made it 1-0. There wasn't much going on. Fabianski didn't have much to do. Their keeper didn't have too much to do either. But we made it 1-0 through Alese with, we scored 2 goals, 1-2-0. But there's not much to talk about in relation to the goals themselves. Lanzini had a free kick, 25 yards out maybe on the right-hand side. Swung it in. 3 Servette players went for it as well as the goalkeeper. They all missed it by the final defender, sort of ricocheted off his knee, went towards their goal where there was nobody in goal at this point, and at least he just sort of toe poked it into an empty net. It was that simple, really. They then went on to cause us a little bit of bother, to be fair. They first of all hit the post with their new striker, Fluke, or whatever his name is, this signed from the Netherlands. I thought it looked quite good, actually, their striker. Obviously, this is in context given the match itself, but I thought he caused us a little bit of bother with his runs. Quite a big player, quite fast as well, but a nice little bit of movement from him. Went in between Ashby and Dawson, got his shot away, hit the post, and then the right back nearly scored a 25-yard screamer. Where did he get that from? He was in acres of space. Nobody was closing him down. I guess everybody was looking at him going, well, what are you going to do from there? Turns out nearly score. Absolute rocket of a shot, swerving in the air. It looked like it just hit the bar and went out, but on replay, Fabianski gets a hand to it. It's a really good save at the end. But what a fantastic effort that was. So at halftime, 1-0 West Ham, Alise's goal was the difference between the two sides. Came out in the second half, much changes at halftime from West Ham. We'll get into individual player performances in just a minute. Much the same with the first half. I thought you could tell it was our first friendly, and you could tell it was their 5th friendly. You could see that they're sort of getting ready for their season, kicking off. I thought they had a little bit more enthusiasm than we did, whereas we probably had a bit more quality than what they've got. And at times, we made it shows. I thought certain players made it look quite easy today for West Ham, but it looked like they were sort of playing at quite a higher tempo than we were. They were pressing a little bit, and they looked quite handy, to be fair. I think it was a good game for us. I think Servette were there taking the friendly a little bit more serious than we were. For reasons I've just stated, they kick off their season next week. I didn't know that before the game until someone put in the build-up show in the live chat. So that's it's a good friendly for us to kick it off with. So the second half started the same. I thought they were probably the busier of the team, but we were probably the better of the team in possession. We made it 2-0. First of all, Saïd Benrahma missed a good chance, but it's just a friendly, isn't it? But then we did make it 2-0 through Mubama, the young striker, or under 18 striker. He came on at halftime. And I thought he looked quite good, actually. Prior to making it 2-0, I thought he had made a couple of good runs into the box, and Ashby in particular was trying to find him with the crosses, and they weren't quite connecting. Either Mubama wasn't quite getting on the end of the crosses, or Ashby wasn't quite finding Mubama. But I thought his movement was quite good. I thought he looked quite enthusiastic, got a bit of pace about him. But he made it 2-0, so really good play by Saïd Benrahma, cutting in on the right foot. Decent effort, good save by the keeper, but just sort of fell to Mubama, who just backheeled it into the back of the net. 2-0 West Ham, happy days. They nearly made it 2-1. I have to say, I think they deserved a goal for their troubles today. I think they looked quite handy, breaking forward. A really nice pass. This is the problem with friendlies, though. The replays are inadequate, shall we say. That Benrahma chance that he missed, he kept showing the replay because Mubama, who had the effort, saved by the keeper, and Benrahma put the replay wide. But when you got the replays, it was like zoomed right in on the ball. You couldn't really see anything. So for Servette's third time they hit the woodwork, they hit the woodwork for the third time. Really good cross, great run, but you don't know who's responsible defensively for the player being unmarked because you don't see the replay. The replay takes it from when the guy's about 8 yards out. Well, I want to re-round to the halfway line, please. But anyway, Alese gets back, puts in a bit of cover. He dinks Trot, and it comes off the top of the bar with a really nice effort. The game would finish 2-0 West Ham. Not loads for either keeper to do, really. I think Fabianski had that wonderful save. I thought Trot was probably the busier of the two keepers in the second half. But all in all, a relatively straightforward game for West Ham. But let's discuss a couple of things and a couple of players. So Alese, Ashby and Conor Coventry, they were the only 3 players to play 90 minutes, which is really encouraging, really pleasing to see that, actually, because to some extent, there's bar fitness. There's no point to Fornals or Lanzini or Craig Dawson playing 90 minutes, is there? We know what they can do. We know what their part of the squad is for next season. You don't learn anything from playing those players, but giving those 3 youngsters 90 minutes gives David Moyes a chance to have a look at them. And I have to say that at least 2 of them anyway, actually all 3 of them possibly were 3 of our better players today. But for reason of just giving, where Lanzini in the first half, he doesn't even have to try. He looked like the best player on the pitch, probably because he is the best player on the pitch, but he didn't even have to put the effort in, really. It's quite easy for Lanzini, whereas Conor Coventry was buzzing around, loads of enthusiasm, but he has to do that because he's got something to prove to David Moyes, doesn't he? He's trying to win a spot in the squad for next season. So those 3 players got 90 minutes. In the second half, we switched formation a little bit, and we went to 3 at the back. So we had Alese, Zuma, and Diop centre-backs, and Longello came on and went to a traditional left wing-back role. So we played with 3 at the back in the second half. Benrahma and Fornals sort of both playing as a number 10 in behind Mubama up front. In the first half, Masuaku had this sort of strange hybrid role thing again. I couldn't work out if he was a left wing-back or if he was a left winger, what he was. Maybe he was just a traditional left midfielder. I mean, Benrahma was clearly a right winger. Fornals was clearly in the number 10 role. But Masuaku's position was difficult to work out, and I'm not saying Masuaku played poorly at that. I just don't know. We've seen it at the end of last season, this hybrid role for Fornals. I don't know if Masuaku was trying to do that or something, but either way, it wasn't good nor bad. It was just a bit of a strange thing to witness. But I thought Longello came on the second half, looked really confident. I thought got forward well, and he's on the ball. He's very assured. He knows what he wants to do. But I want to speak about Alese, Coventry and Ashby, because the spotlight's clearly on them for a reason. They played 90 minutes. It's a big chance for 3 of them. I thought Alese actually started pretty dodgy, to be honest with you. I actually thought Alese was a little bit shaky. 10, 15 minutes in, maybe. I thought he looked a little bit ropey. I thought their striker was giving him a little bit of grief. There was one point their ball came through and Alise's starting position was wrong, and he got back in. He recovered well. He got caught out of possession early on as well. You could almost see it coming from a mile away as well, out on the touchline. He gave the ball away. So I thought he was a little bit struggling for the first 15 minutes, maybe. I thought he was a little bit ropey, and I thought, oh no, you're finally getting an opportunity here. I like everybody. When you watch the youngsters in pre-season, you want to see them do well, don't you? Because to some extent, you're not that bothered if Fornals plays well or not, because you know what you're going to get. So it's the youngsters that you want to see step up. And I thought he was struggling a little bit. But after he got his goal, I thought he really grew into the game. I thought he got much better. That chance I spoke about where they hit the ball, he's covering for Kurt Zouma there, I think. Gets back really well. He doesn't block the shot, but he certainly forces a striker into a real tight angle. And then that ended up going back net. It's just an incredible finish. That's all it is. But I thought Alese grew into it. He looked more and more confident on the ball. But for the first quarter of the game, I thought he looked a little bit iffy, to be honest with you. I thought Diop played really well when he came on. He got skinned once. Every player, I will say this, every player made a mistake. At least one mistake today. Every player looks sloppy at some point. It's the first friendly pre-season. It's going to happen. Harrison Ashby, I thought he got forward really well. Some of his crosses was quite a bit like Soufal to some extent, which is I'll just put it in the box, where he wasn't really picking anyone out. But I thought he got forward really good. In the first half, I think it was Antonio played him in the, no, it couldn't be because he was in the box. Somebody played Harrison Ashby in behind the fullback. Great turn of pace, great speed, great power, went shoulder to shoulder with the left back, won the battle, got the ball, got his head up, got a decent crossing. I wanted to see more of that. But again, very enthusiastic, wasn't ducking out of any challenges. It's just a friendly, but any 50-50. Ashby and Conor Coventry, they were going straight in for it. You could see they wanted it, whereas another couple of players would say, yeah, you can have that. I'm not getting injured today. As for Conor Coventry, it's difficult. I think it's really, really hard. I think it's really difficult for a centre midfielder to impress in pre-season because you're allowed time on the ball. You get the ball, you're able to have 3-4 touches before you have to pass it again. It's just pre-season. And I think it shows. The middle of the park, I find a difficult position to impress. Defensively, great. All you have to do is hope that defender, you go one-on-one with the defender, you make the tackle, you look good. And Mubama up front, Mubama, I can't pronounce his name, up front for us today. He's got his goal. I thought he looked quite busy, but he got his goal. He's sort of automatically sort of impressed to some extent. But Connor Coventry today, thought he put himself around the pitch really well. But I just thought it's difficult, isn't it? Because he's not a creative centre midfielder. Saying that, there was one pass to Chester's in the second half. I thought it was excellent. Just broke the lines. Chester's was able to turn and run at their defence as well. But it's just hard for him to look good, I think. I felt a little bit sorry for him. Like I said, any tackles that need to be made, he was making them. In a normal game of football, he would have got a yellow card in the second half. But nice to see David Moyes give him the 90 minutes and stuff. But overall, a good experience, I guess, for the team. Like I said, a little bit sloppy at times. A little bit sloppy. Everybody was that. Kurt Zuma had a pass to Alese, massively overpowered. Like I said, Lanzini looked good. I thought Fernandez looked a little bit ropey. Ben Mama looked a little bit rusty in the first half. But so what? It doesn't really matter, does it? It's going to happen. It's the first game of the preseason. On Monday, the rest of the boys are back. So the likes of Declan Rice and Jared Bowen, they're all returning on Monday. Obviously, Vlasic, Sufal, Souček, Aguerd. Obviously, Flynn Downs will be there as well. So we'll have a much bigger squad next week. So our next friendlies are on Tuesday. We've got 2 friendlies on Tuesday night. So this squad with all the new players will get split up into 2 squads. So we've got 2 games going on this Tuesday. So, pardon me, Gonzo will probably watch one and I'll watch the other or something like that. So we've got 2 different games going on. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, the youngsters impressed to some extent, but there's a ceiling, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? You can only impress so much in pre-season. And the ones that don't particularly play well, you can just put a line through. You know, I thought Creswell looked all right. Didn't look great, didn't look bad. He just looked all right. That's what you expect in pre-season. Ekwa, actually, I thought when Ekwa came on, I think it's because I'm a little bit excited to see Ekwa. I've got sort of hopes that he might make it at West Ham. I think he looked neat and tidy. But again, the first 15 minutes of the second half, he came on at half-time. The first 15 minutes, I think he looked quite busy. I think he was getting on the ball. He was moving the ball about. And then the next half hour was just like the game died a little bit. Loads of substitutions for both teams. It just takes any tempo out. Armstrong, local flex, a bit harsh to say this, but I would have liked to see him done a little bit better on a couple of occasions. There was one point Longelo gave him a ball, really good position, one-on-one with his man. I thought, go on then, go and do something. Take him on, get a shot away, do something. And he just sort of held on for too long, and then the defender ended up toe poking it away for a throw in. You know, you're not going to get much of these opportunities in pre-season. You've got to take them. I thought the striker today, Mubama, when he came on, I thought he looked good. I think he looked busy. And he's going to get opportunities in pre-season because as it stands, he's the only other striker. We've got Antonio, we've got him. That's it. He's going to get plenty of game time. I know Jared Bowen can play up front in pre-season. That I expect we will see him. But if you're going to do that, that means Antonio and Bowen won't share the same pitch during pre-season. So he's going to get plenty of game time, him. He didn't do himself any harm. I haven't seen a minute of him play. Until tonight, I'd never seen him play. He's got a goal pretty much every single game for the under-18s last season. So he's got a good goal-scoring record at that age group. But I hadn't seen him play a game. Anyway, so on... probably fortunate to keep the clean sheet. Decent performance, some decent performances in there, but it's only a friendly, isn't it? And we go again on Tuesday. Like I said, double header on Tuesday, 2 games. The boys are back in training on Friday. Monday morning, the boys are back. So if you enjoyed this review, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll catch you in a bit.